All right, I'm here with a look at my favorite video games of 2022. So, a few weeks ago, we looked ahead at 2023, trying to figure out what the most anticipated games were for this year so far, using the Fantasy Critic draft. So, I did that with a few friends. But moving forward, we're going to be today looking at some of my favorite games of 2022. And I got to be honest, 2022 was not a great year for new releases, at least in my opinion. I need to upfront say that I did not play enough of Elden Ring to really have any opinion. That game came out. I played one night of it, and I was like, oh, it was cool. I'll get back to it. And then I woke up the next morning with horrible pain. I went through pain for an entire weekend and then had to be hospitalized and have my gallbladder removed. So I didn't get back to Elden Ring. Something that game is permanently has the stigma of waking up to pain, and I won't play it. I don't know. I'll get back to it someday, maybe. But my year for gaming, I mostly went and tackled my backlog, which is good. Got through some games that I hadn't yet played that I've been meaning to for a while. So, it wasn't a waste of a year by any means, but I just don't look at 2022 for a year for new releases as much. I feel like it was a year that we kind of really felt COVID, kind of had its impact on the game development cycles. And 2023 is looking stacked now because everything from that was supposed to be 2022 got delayed. So looking like a stacked year. Very excited for this coming year. But I'll go over my favorite games of the year and kind of end it off with. I'm going to go in alphabetical order and then end it off with my favorite game of the year out of alphabetical order. But starting up first with great game, might have gone under the radar, AI The Somnium Files Nirvana Initiative. So this is the sequel to the first AI The Somnium Files. Came out in 2019, and this is a great game. It is like an adventure game from Spike Chunsoft, Kotaro Uchikoshi, who did the Zero Escape series as well as the first game, obviously, wrote this one, and I really liked the first game a lot, and I feel like I like this one better. I don't think this one gets as crazy as the first game, but if you were to tell me what direction this game takes after the first game, which was kind of, I don't know, felt like it might not get a sequel, I don't know if I would have believed it, but it was just a really cool, really interesting direction to take, kind of bringing in like secret societies and stuff, crazy stuff like that. Really, really cool game. I feel like the gameplay is improved over the first game because the puzzle solving sequences are kind of, you have like this almost speed run almost you want to do where you have to figure out using this weird dream logic of like what you should do in these different things to figure out what happened. And in the first game, it was a little obtuse. This game, it feels a little bit more fair and more, I don't know, like it makes actual sense a little bit better. But other than that, you play a game like this mainly for story, and I was very interested in the story. I thought it was fascinating. I thought it was off the wall. It was really great. So, great game. Available on PS4 and Xbox as well. So, got a couple other places to play it. I think it's on PC too, and of course Switch, so as we have here. Switch port is perfectly good. I had no problems with it. So yeah, great game. Highly recommended from me, and definitely check it out if you like this kind of game. If you like Danganronpa, Ace Attorney, mystery type games in general, definitely give that one a go. Of course, Zero Escape too, since it's I didn't really like Zero Escape very much, and I like AI quite a bit. So take that what you will. Next up, another Switch game. I should also mention this isn't even a top 10. It is 5 games and then a game of the year. So this is top 6 games of the year. Yeah. Bayonetta 3. So this one comes with like a big asterisk because this game has a lot of problems, but I still find myself enjoying it. I don't think it's quite as good as Bayonetta 2. I think Bayonetta 2 is a great game. That is one of the all-time great video game sequels, especially because I got to say, I'm not a huge fan of Bayonetta 1. That might be a little controversial, but I'm not crazy about that game. But I think Bayonetta 2 is fantastic. And this game is really solid. So this game, the story is atrocious. I'm going to get that out of the way, which is fine. I don't really like the Bayonetta storylines anyway. I think they've always been kind of bad, so it's fine with me. But this game is like kind of next level. And this game also doesn't look very nice. To say it looks like a PS3 game is like that's what it looks like at its best. So it doesn't exactly look very nice, but Makes up with it with the gameplay. It is maybe the best a character action game has been felt. The second character you play, who's not Bayonetta, feels doesn't feel quite as nice. Although apparently, the character was just broken and they patched in like a better dodge and or a parry, and now it's like way better. But would have been nice for the people who bought the game at release to be able to have that play. Your biggest fans be able to play it like that. But I digress on that. Yeah, I just think it feels great to play. The set pieces are great. There's a little bit of a problem where they're like, okay, you're adding maybe a little bit too much here. We don't need to be doing giant kaiju fights that are slow as poison. We don't need to be doing this. We don't need to be doing that. There was no reason for this level to be that big. But as a character action game fan, this is some of the best it can get. I think it runs reasonably well on Switch, even if it doesn't look very good. Um, so yeah, I recommend it. Even if you've not played the other ones, although I'd recommend playing two above all else because that game is excellent. But give this one a go. I liked it, and the new Bayonetta voice actor. There was a whole drama there, but the new voice actress. Um, if you wouldn't have told me, it's been a while since I played Bayonetta 2. So if you wouldn't have told me that there was a new voice actress, I probably wouldn't have noticed. So you can maybe either think I'm a gigantic idiot or think that it doesn't really matter. Either way. All right, this one's going to be maybe controversial that I put on my list, and I have my reasons why I put this one on my list. The Callisto Protocol. So this one came out December. It is a new survival horror IP from Glenn Schofield's new team, Striking Distance. He's the guy behind Dead Space. He made a new team with the publisher Krafton. They're the South Korean publisher behind PUBG. So this game is pretty much just funded from PUBG money. And this game didn't get the greatest reviews. I think it's somewhere in the 60s on Metacritic, which is a little bit maybe lukewarm. But I think this game has a lot of potential. I think that it's good. I mean, I think it's good. It's a very good game. It never at any point do I think of this game do I think this is great. This is really doing something amazing. But the entire way through I was like, yeah, this is good. This is a fun game. I'm enjoying myself. It has this really cool combat, and I know it's going to sound, first of all, it's a pun in some way. But it's also going to sound really, I don't know, cliche, but it has this really fun combat that's really visceral and it feels really good. There's this interesting dodge mechanic that I feel like a bunch of people who are hating on the dodge mechanic weren't using it right. Because people are like, it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And it's like, yeah, it does. It's pretty easy to master. It's not too bad. So that was it. And there's some boss fights that are like pretty bad. But throughout the entire game, I'm like, this looks really good. I mean, it looks really good. But that's not everything, obviously. I think it plays well, and I think it has a good atmosphere. I think it has some really cool ideas. I think the weaponry is pretty cool. I think the setting's pretty cool. I think that this game reminds me a lot of an older game I played through for the first time this year, the original Evil Within, where I think that game's better. But, well, maybe, I don't know. They're about equal to me. I'm not crazy about that game, but they feel similar in the fact that you get this kind of interesting new game and you kind of think like, okay, I want to see the sequel because you guys got some great ideas, but you got to just iron out some things. And I think The Evil Within 2 is a fantastic game. That's a great game. So odds are this is not going to get a sequel. The publisher announced that it like underperformed. I guess it was supposed to sell like 5 million copies because apparently this game cost $160 million to make, which is baffling. I almost feel like, did you guys include like setting up the new studio in that or something? Like that seems absurd. 160 million for a game that's, a pretty linear, probably 8-hour game. Like I said, it's good, but that seems a little bit odd. But for what it's worth, I like this game quite a bit. Like I said, it's maybe the best 7 out of 10 you'll play this year. And there's nothing wrong with a 7 out of 10. I think a 7 out of 10 is a good score. And I always just want to be, finding and playing new AAA horror. There's something about horror that I think benefits from that AAA production quality. And we just don't get a whole lot. We're getting a little bit of a renaissance with it now. But as far as original stuff goes, we're not getting it. It's mostly remakes or series that we've known for quite a while. So, I gotta say, I was happy with Callisto Protocol. Um, Interesting enough game to hold my attention. So one here I have not finished yet. I'm still kind of working through it, and I've never played this game on the PSP. Some you guys might know I've never had a PSP. I have this game collection, but I've never had a PSP system that worked for me or anything. So I never played this game before. Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion, the remake of Crisis Core, the PSP game. And this is a really well done remake. This they didn't need to go this hard, I don't think. You can tell it's a remake. It's not like quite AAA, and you can mainly tell, I guess, kind of in the animations are a little bit stiff, but character models look pretty good. Environments look pretty good. It runs really well at a nice 60, and it just feels good to play. It's a fun action JRPG, and it'll be interesting to see. They obviously, and I don't want to spoil Final Fantasy VII Reunion, but or Final Fantasy VII remake, but they obviously are trying to put in more with the legacy Final Fantasy VII content, trying to work it in more. So I'm interested to see how this is going to end up fitting in. They did not just re-release this and a remake for no reason. So I think it's going to be important to part two of the remake. Yeah, and I think if you see the ending of the remake, you'll understand that there's going to probably be more meaning to this game and importance placed on what happens. But from what it is, I don't know. It's kind of pretty much very Square Enix writing, for better or for worse. What you can expect from that kind of sometimes corny Square Enix writing is definitely here, but it's endearing and it's fun. And yeah, I think it's a well done remake and a fun action RPG. So I want to finish that one up soon. Moving on to a game, another one I haven't finished, but very close. So what happened was that I saw that I played this game and I got pretty far into it, and then I was like, "This game's awesome! I want to go back and play Tango's other games." So I played Evil Within 1 and 2, and then I was like, "Okay." I played those games, and then I never got back to this one. Something else came out, but I really liked this game. I thought it was really cool, really under the radar, really underrated. PS5 exclusive for now, even though Tango is owned by Microsoft now. But it is, I'm sure, coming to Xbox like, a year and a day after this PS5 exclusivity ends. So, yeah, this is just a really cool open world game. Kind of really cool atmosphere. It's not a horror game, which is a little bit disappointing, but it has that kind of like cool atmosphere in Tokyo, obviously. And it kind of has to deal with a lot of Japanese mythology and kind of, ghosts and stuff. And it's really cool. I like um, there's like this mechanic. It's like, you do these cool moves. It's like you do like this Doctor Strange magic. It's really cool that way, capturing ghosts and stuff and all that. And I really enjoy this one, and I want to get back to it. It is, I don't know. I think Tango Gameworks is so underrated. I think they're a great studio. I feel like they just put out that game Hi-Fi Rush too on Xbox exclusive, which really has me tempted of getting an Xbox because that game looks awesome too. I feel like this studio is kind of forgotten. Like Microsoft's only Japanese studio, Xbox's only Japanese studio, and the studio head is Shinji Mikami, which is like one of the most important game developers, especially in the history of Japan, but period. So you'd think maybe a little bit more emphasis placed on this studio, but they are relatively new. I mean, this was only their third game. They've only put 4 games out, like main games, so maybe that's it. But really liked this one. Really impressed with it, and yeah, I think it's a cool concept. I think it's a cool idea, and it can get a little bit repetitive. That's what kind of got me going back to their other games to check out more. But this is one that I think I'm going to get back into soon and go for the platinum because I just really like how it plays and all the collecting and stuff. All right, guys. Game of the year. The certified Objo Gaming Game of the Year goes to God of War Ragnarok. Maybe surprised that a Western developed game is my game of the year. I don't know when the last time that's happened. It's been a while. But this game is just excellent. I mean, there's What else can you say that hasn't been said about it? It's so good. Production quality is incredible. It's really well acted, which is, and the story's really good, which is not something you always get with games. And yeah, it just is fun. It feels a lot like the first God of War, and I think at first you might be fooled into thinking like, oh, this isn't really probably going to expand too much on the first game, and it really does. They expand on the combat a ton. It feels like a natural evolution playing the first game. You could probably play these games back to back, and it would just feel like a natural evolution of how you progress, how the combat is built upon, new weapons and stuff. This game is just really, really great. I thought the side content was pretty interesting, which is something I don't always say because I don't always find side content very interesting in games. Because let's be fair, side content is not always the most intriguing thing, but the side content was well written, it was well implemented, and you get a lot of good character moments and good beats from it. And I like the characters as well in these God of War reboot games. I just think they are really likable. You got almost like this. I saw people comparing it to like Final Fantasy and the idea that you have like almost like a party that you build up and all going for the one main uh, plot of the game. Really, really good stuff, and just the combat feels so good to play. It's I can't the production values on this too is just incredible. I mean, you got these huge worlds, this huge world that's like all kind of interconnected. You got these different places to go. Everything on the map and everything is like so remarkably detailed. It's just so well made. It is such a well made video game, and it has great combat, great minute to minute gameplay, uh, great story, great well acted. It is just a phenomenal game. Really good stuff. And uh, Santa Monica, you can wear this hat proud that you've won the Objo Gaming Game of the Year award for 2022. One of the most prestigious awards on all of the Objo Gaming YouTube channel. So, be proud of yourself. It's a great honor. So, yeah, great game. Overall, kind of mid-year for game releases. Some good stuff, but nothing that super spoke to me in a lot of ways. But great year to go back and play some games off the backlog. And, the games that did come out that I liked were pretty solid. So I got to give it that. But I appreciate everyone for watching. I thank you for watching. Sorry if some of the game cases were like just out of, not well centered. You guys know I'm not good with camera work on this channel, but I'm gonna assume most people listen to this as like almost like a background noise podcast type thing anyway, go audio only, so it doesn't really matter. Um, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Comment down below what your favorite game of the year was, what you think of my picks, what some of your favorite games other than your favorite game of the year was. Subscribe if you're already subscribed. Follow me on Twitter at Obju Gaming, and until next time, I'd like to thank you for watching.